Wow, we made it, y'all. We got through all of those Da Vinci Code video games, all those mobile games, and the one console PC game. The Angels and Demons, the one game they got on mobile. So many puzzle games, so many, pocket-sized puzzle games. Oh man, it's been a journey. And I am surprised and delighted that this is the final game to play through as I get through these Robert Langdon adventures, which is Inferno, Journey Through Hell. So Inferno, if you're not aware, is a book from 2013 by Dan Brown, made into a movie starring Tom Hanks and various other actors in 2016, released in 2016. And, when I was doing my initial research, it was very obvious that the Da Vinci Code got a bunch of attention, right? It got 5 video games, 6, something like that. But then, skip forward several years to Angels and Demons, and it gets the one mobile game with almost no attention. So it's pretty obvious that the desire to make video games for these things was dropping with each release exponentially. So, and then for this third one, Inferno, in my initial searching, it just seemed all right, nobody cared. Nobody bothered to make any kind of video game or interactive thing, which I think is the style now. Right, it used to be that everything used to get a video game. I think we're beyond that point in our history as a species. But I was surprised to discover, I was searching and I did find news stories about a ARG, or alternate reality game, which is a game that it's not, a video game is contained within itself. Everything you do is within the video game, and ARG requires you to go to a website or read a book or something, and then that points you to other places for more solutions to the puzzles you're trying to solve. So yeah, there was the reference to this ARG they made called journeythroughhell.com. That website's down, no longer available because, surprise, websites that are basically marketing tools for movies don't last very long. And that was, so I didn't expect to find the game. I thought it was going to be a lame, series of web pages with simple links. And I guess that's what this is, but it's the presentation and the way they did it is so impressive that I was again, surprised and really excited to play through it, because I think it's something, I don't know, it's stylistically cool. It looks cool. It plays really well for what it is. And I was just impressed when I found that the developer archived it, right? Because, they want to show off their work. They want to preserve this so that they can, when they're trying to sell, their ideas to new clients, I'm sure they keep this stuff around for that purpose. And it's still up. I'll link to it in the description as well so you can check it out. But yeah, that's what we're going to play now. So we're going to go through Inferno, Journey Through Hell. Let's begin. It is short and sweet. It's not a very long game either, so it's just something nice to, it's just a nice experience to wrap up this whole journey of Robert Langdon adventures in video games. First, we get a tutorial. So basically, they're going to give you a question. They're going to tell you to click on this link to find the answer. And when you have the answer, when you figure it out, you punch it into that text box. So, welcome to Limbo. This is the first circle of Dante's Journey Through Hell, by far the most pleasant. It's like heaven, but you feel like hell the whole time. So, Limbo? I don't know. What's worse, extreme pain or dull, infinite banality? I don't know. To begin your journey into hell, can you help Langdon determine the city of his whereabouts? In the upcoming movie Inferno, the story begins with mastermind Robert Langdon waking up in his own limbo. He's lost his superpower, his memory. Google Maps holds the answer. So yeah, the story, which by the way, if you're not aware, or if you want to read Inferno or watch Inferno, the movie, and you don't want to get spoiled, this does spoil details. Like I'm going to do in 3, 2, 1. The story begins with Langdon having amnesia. He's in in media res? He's in the middle of some bad stuff. He doesn't know why he's there, what's going on. So the first thing he has to find out is where is he? That's what we're about to answer. All right, so we're on Google Maps. Sorry, the last time I said that word, my phone brought it up, and I didn't want that. So now it didn't do that. But yeah, we're at the Boboli Gardens. At the Forte di Belvedere, Palazzo P. di Giordano di Boboli. I can pronounce those words better than this, but I don't speak Italian. I do speak Spanish. So I can try again. Giardano di Poboli, Forte di Belvedere, Palazzo Pitti. I don't know if that's very good either. So anyway, I know exactly where we are. We're going to get out of here. We are in Florence, in Italy. Congrats, first circle unlocked. Much of Inferno was shot on location in Florence, a major source of inspiration for both Dante and Dan Brown. Dante actually started writing Inferno when he was exiled from his beloved hometown of Florence for backing the wrong politicians. So, Dante, the author of this book, Inferno, or the Divine Comedy, yeah, he was a real bitter dude. He got kicked out of his hometown. He was not happy about it, and then he wrote some stuff that I think reflects his bitterness in life. All right, on to the next one. Circle. Lust. I was praising the design of this thing, how cool it is and how it looks and sounds, but seeing press photos of the actors kind of takes me out of it, right? Especially because sometimes they're not that relevant. Like, how does this relate to lust? Maybe this is the point in the movie where they discover the lust clue. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that just stands out to me. Cheaters, make your way past limbo and into hell's second circle. Be prepared to spend the rest of time whipped and spun by violent winds. It's the worst tornado of your afterlife, and the punishment is an overt metaphor for how quickly you spun through lovers, trading in deep connections for the quick fix. That's shaming. I mean, let people live their lives, right? If they're not hurting anyone. But I guess that's the idea, right? Is if you're too careless, you might hurt some people. But you know what? Part of life is learning to deal with pain. So anyway. Dante thought all you lusty sinners should go to Circle 2. The question here is, who doomed Dante to the second circle? The answer can be found in 140 characters or less. Remember that Twitter used to be 140 characters? That feels like ancient history now. They say that it is because of her that Dante's death mask looks so sad. Oh. So let's zoom in on this picture. Yeah, that looks like a lusty scene, right? Just a couple of naked people hugging it out, you know. And let's click on the clue link and see where that goes. Salutation of Beatrice, all over on Google Arts and Culture. And that gives us the answer. So let's bounce out of here. And let's say it is Beatrice. Indeed it is. I'm just checking my microphone, making sure it's still recording. Congrats, second circle unlocked. Dante's adulterous love for Beatrice was borderline pathological. Okay, a little obsessed. He met Beatrice once as a child and became obsessed with her for the rest of his life. If he were operating in today's world, it's fair to say he'd be slapped with a restraining order, but with the rose-colored rear view, many consider Dante the ultimate romantic. Okay, wait, I have questions. Were they both children? Like they met as kids and he got super obsessed then? Or was he a grown-ass man who met her as a child? Yeah, because, you know, back then, that's how it was. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Well, he's in hell for it, so maybe he deserves it. Now I'm shaming. Level 3, Gluttony. Welcome to the third circle. If you live a life of excess, you'll spend eternity lying in slush while ice pelts your face. Not you? Think again, and don't forget to grab a blanket the next time you binge watch the latest series that everyone is talking about. Wow, they're just calling us out. Straight up. Like, so no matter what, we're all gluttons for content. That's what they're saying, right? You're watching content, I'm making content, I watch a lot of content. We're all content gluttons. That'll be our downfall. That'll be a new circle of hell, I think. Alright, the question here is, what has 6 eyes, 3 mouths, but only one name? The answer will reveal itself to those who watch YouTube with patience. Okay. You have to be patient on YouTube. Which, I run a YouTube channel. I look at the numbers, and sometimes some people just nope out right away. They don't hang around. But here's the bummer. This link doesn't work. Which, that's what happens. Again, that's part of the reason I'm recording this video is finding this whole game online was felt like a miracle to me, because it's the kind of thing that just goes away immediately, right? It's a marketing tool. When the marketing of the movie's done, this kind of thing just goes away. So we're going to have some broken links because this is now 5 years old. But you know what? I don't need it. I'm a smarty pants, aka I know how to Google answers to things. So the thing that has 6 eyes, 3 mouths, and only one name is our old furry buddy, Cerberus. Third circle unlocked. If the frozen bath of the third circle didn't scare you enough, its guardian will. Originally a beast from Greek mythology, Dante popularized Cerberus as a hellhound and has terrorized art, film, games, and literature ever since. Yeah, that's true. I think Cerberus really does pop up a heck of a lot, at least if you're into fantasy things. Like just last year I played a game called Drakengard 3, and there's a Cerberus as one of the bosses, right? Just a giant 3-headed dog with magic power or whatever. So yeah, pretty common character in our modern stories. On we go to... What circle is this? Circle 4, Greed. Those who are greedy in life spend eternity in the fourth circle, endlessly pushing massive boulders with their chests. You know, as one does, right? Like, Next time you might think twice before refusing to share your popcorn. What? That makes no sense to me at all. Anyway, who is the demon hoarder of wealth? So that's the answer we're trying to find. They're giving us some sort of key. Let's go to Twitter and get some more deets. Help Langdon, this time we're on the Sony Pictures Twitter account. Help Langdon decode the writings on the wall. Visit journeythroughhell.com, which, like I said, does not work. That site no longer exists, but we don't need it. Thankfully, the developers were kind enough to archive this whole thing for us. Oh, I see. So there's this key, columns and rows. Anybody who works in Google Sheets and Excel is very familiar with this. Let's pop back over here. I see. All right, so A2 is P, B5 is P, so it's L, PL. C2 is U, PLU. D6, that's T, PLUT. E5 is U, PLU, Pluto. And then F1 is S. Plutus. Isn't that a Popeye character? Something like that. Fourth circle unlocked. Plutus, the Greek god of wealth, is the most famous resident of the fourth circle. Dante probably included Plutus as a warning about the evils of hoarding wealth, which is a lesson we've all pretty much ignored. Again, calling us all out, man. This whole game is basically just reminding you, like, you're a sinner, right? You're gluttonous, you're greedy, you're lustful. So it's almost like the sins are just, part of being a human being. It's a pretty natural thing we do. But I'll agree, don't hoard wealth. You don't need all that money. You don't. Spread that. Find a cause or people who need it, and give them a slice of what you got. Onward to Wrath, level 5. In the fifth circle, the vengeful suffer in 2 ways. They either ruthlessly attack one another, or they stew below the surface of a muddy swamp. Anger management classes don't sound so bad after all. Okay, so if you're an angry person, a wrathful person, you go to a place where they chop off your arms a lot, I think, and where you get dunked into the mud, as these upside down folks here are showing us. Alright, so what is the question? What is the wrathful water of the fifth circle? Gmail is the best way to reach Professor Langdon. Contact him for help at robertlangdon964@gmail.com. If I click that link, it's just going to pop up, a link with the email address. But I've tried it. I've emailed that address asking, what's up with the wrathful water, and got no response. So not helpful at all. But I know the answer. The wrathful water of the fifth circle is the river Styx. Fifth circle unlocked. Professor Langdon's course on Dante's Inferno always includes a lecture on this muddy swamp, also known as the River Styx, the most infamous river in the underworld. So, you know, like hell do, right? There's always a river of... I would picture lava, but I think this is just straight up like a really bummer of a river with people trying to get across. So yeah, there's that down there as well. Onward to Heresy. Level 6. Rows of flaming tombs line the 6th circle, speak out against the church, and spend the rest of time roasting in boxes. Should we test that? The church, this is a message for you. You suck. Actually, I was raised Catholic, so even saying that out loud does feel like, oh man, someone's gonna come after me. Anyway, the question is, who's the heretic who denied life after death? Pinch and zoom on your mobile device where you previously couldn't with Instagram. So, if this was 5 years ago, I guess you would have gotten an image here, but it's gone. So we're gonna have to figure this out on ourselves or cheat and find the answer right here. We're looking for a homie's name called Farinata. Alright, 6th circle unlocked. Dante runs into an old acquaintance named Farinata in Circle 6. A famous aristocrat, Farinata was posthumously executed for heresy during the Inquisition. The leaders in Italy hated him so much, they dug up his body, they shot him, and then sentenced him to hell. So I guess it's more, time and place. So at this time and place, if you said, church, you suck, they would kill you, bring you back up to double kill you with some bullets, and then send you to hell for good. So yeah, they were not into that anti-church stuff back then. All right, we're on to Circle 7, Violenza. Again, with a completely unrelated image. Well, I guess they're maybe running from violence, probably. That's something you see a lot in these stories with Robert Langdon. He's like the most mild-mannered, nerdy art professor dude, but he's constantly running from really, really violent, awful stuff, or people. So yeah, he gets mixed up in that stuff often. Circle 7 is pretty nasty, but then again, violence is nasty. Just as it dominates our TV, movies, and video games now, violence dominated art back then. Take, for instance, Vasari's Battle of Marciano, created in 1565. It takes more than just a glance to appreciate the beauty beyond the bloodshed. I just want to say I appreciate that when they talk about, art in our modern times, I appreciate all the video game call-outs, because, I work in video games. It's nice to feel included when people talk about modern art. So including video game and that concept of like, these are our modern, artistic works, including video games. That's nice. So, sorry I made fun of your jokes, description writer. I appreciate all those video game mentions. Question is, can you discover the truth of Vasari's classic work of art? The answer will be revealed when you share this image on Instagram. Don't forget the Crema filter. All right, let's go to this one. So this one doesn't go to Instagram. They give you the image, which you are meant to take to Instagram and post using that filter they talked about. Let's close this. And I'm not going to go to Instagram, but I am going to show you what that looks like. So let's bring this up. So if you did take that image to Instagram and apply the Crema filter, bam, there you go. It reveals the term cerca trova. And so we can only assume this garish lime green triangle isn't actually in the original image, because that is pretty gnarly. I don't know if the ancients even knew about lime green. But there we go. We have our answer. So, cerca trova. 7th circle done. Cerca trova is synonymous with the biblical phrase "seek and ye shall find," or in today's vernacular, Google it. Yeah, that's like seek and ye shall find is the theme of all of these stories. Like, these characters are always running and seeking and trying to find more clues and answers and puzzles. So every book is like that, or every story is like that. But Inferno in particular, that specific phrase, seek and you shall find, is just like constant. Like the author in the books likes to constantly remind the reader of what the goal is. Again, like a video game or any story, right? You're constantly being reminded, like, oh, this is what the protagonist is working toward. And in Inferno, very literally, there is a constant reminder of like, you got to find the thing. You got to go out and find it. So there it is again. Just like us, we're trying to find something at the end of this circle of hell, I think. All right, we're on to level 8 fraud. Liars, alchemists, hypocrites, sorcerers, counterfeiters, and quacks, slinging fake cures for the Black Death, suffer horribly in the 8th circle. So, all you fraudsters, all you jerks who like to fraud people to get by, no, not cool. I think I agree with this circle of hell. Although liars, I don't know. I've told a lie or two myself, so if I end up there because of that'll be a bummer, but hopefully not. Alright, the question is, as the bubonic plague ravaged Europe in the 14th century, what scammer... Joanna Scammer? No. What scammer cashed in on the catastrophe? YouTube holds the answer. Well, let's hope this YouTube link actually works. Oh, or no, we're going to Twitter to get a photo of the director and one of the actors. This time on what? The Inferno movie account. This is the clue. Oh, no, what? What? I don't want this. Stop it. Make it go away.
Very exciting announcement today.
Shut up.
Opera GX. I love this browser.
Shut up.
I'm so glad.
I might just mute this part. So I don't even want to allow it. Anyway. Alright, here we are. We're looking at a video from 5 years ago. Thank you, Sony Pictures Entertainment, for keeping this video active. But yeah, it's one of those 360 videos that lets you kind of drag around and look around. So we've got Dante, if you didn't know what he looked like, there he is. Some old people, some sick people, some creepo people. And then we got a floaty word in the back, Dr. Plague. Dr. Plague. Paging Dr. Plague. Or more likely, Plague Doctor. Alright. I think we have enough info there. Oh, that's still open. Let's close that. This thing's very precise. It wants the exact spelling of all your answers, so I guess in this instance it is Plague Doctor. Singular. 8th circle done. The beasts of the terrifying Plague Doctor speaks. The beaks of the doctor's masks were often stuffed with perfumes because they wrongly thought the Black Death was an airborne disease. Yeah, it wasn't airborne. It was rats, right? You know, back then, I think humans be huminin. We were just like really clumped together and dirty and gross, and we left our waste all over the place in streets and stuff. And that kind of thing draws rats, and then rats bring disease, and the more rats there are, the more disease spreads. So yeah, you know, keep clean. Keep those rats out of your gutters and out of your houses, and do the best you can. And on to the finals. Ooh, I liked that little sound effect there. Level 9 treachery. JFK once summarized Dante saying the darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis. Basically, backstabbers get the worst hell imaginable in Satan's VIP section. Hold up. Right, treachery and backstabbers, yes, that's the connection. That's a connection. But the quote from JFK, isn't that just that quote about evil grows when good people do nothing? I think that's what that quote is saying, right? If you stand by and do nothing, you're allowing hell or bad stuff to happen. So, yeah, this description. Sorry, writer from 6 years ago. I'm not with this. You're mixing things up. Anyway, the question is, where does the clock strike midnight? We're going to investigate on Bertrand Zobrist's Google Slides. That's a name. Bertrand. Maybe it's Bertrand Zobrist. Anyway, it's telling us to click on this to go to Google Slides. Hey, that's nifty. We're going to give a lecture on overpopulation. So, yeah, this guy, he's the villain of the movie. He does the bad stuff. He's a bioengineer guy who, he's not into what humans be doing out there in terms of climate, change and all the stuff we're putting into the environment. He is pointing out here that there's a lot of people, and we keep adding more people, and eventually we're gonna have too many people. Which, sure, that's logical, I guess. And here he's comparing humans to bacteria, not very nice at all, and pointing out that, like, much like the nuclear annihilation clock, we're right at the edge of the precipice toward midnight. We're not at midnight yet, but we're like right on the edge. 32 billion people in 40 more years, really? Yikes. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely see us kind of having a bad time when we get to 32 billion on the planet. Sure, there's a lot of people, a lot of traffic. There's a lot of dirty, gross stuff because of what we put in the environment. Not cool. This is kind of relevant here, talking about how people don't like to be told what to do. And that's true. That's true. What do you know? We have free will. Some kind of cartoonish images of apocalypse and I guess what the future holds for us. If we go into another extinction, okay. Here we go. So the Palazzo Vecchio burns as the clock strikes midnight. So the clock struck. That's what we needed. The answer, I believe, is Palazzo Vecchio. Cool. Ninth circle done. Baldaccio di Anghiari is the only ghost to haunt Palazzo Vecchio. The iconic Florence Tower and surrounding plaza was featured in the first Inferno trailer. Alright. That's it. We did it. We're in hell, everybody. So we're in the center of hell. The devil himself resides in the center of hell. Dante's final stop on this terrifying journey. Trapped waist deep in ice, fixed in suffering. The devil is nowhere. Reservations for one only, please. Oh, so the center of hell is just the devil. He's the only one there. Wait, is he still running things? Right, because our modern concept of hell is that the devil's kind of the guy in charge. He runs things. This seems to indicate that he's just stuck in a ball of ice in the middle on his own. So pretty bummed out and angry, I suppose. I guess he could still be, it's like someone in prison who runs things outside, right? Maybe he's doing that. Like he's running things, but I guess being stuck in a ball of ice would piss him off enough to probably make him a pretty good torturer. Like it would be annoying and he'd be like irritated all the time and wanting to take it out on the sinners. All right, so what's the final question here? What is Black Plague, in quotes, in Dante's native tongue? For the love of humanity, Zobrist created a plague that could wipe out the world's population. Dante's Inferno isn't fiction, it's prophecy. The answers are the answer. I take umbrage with this final statement of Dante's Inferno isn't fiction. All of these books by Dan Brown and these movies, they're real enough in that they have a lot of real history, real art, real locations, but it's fiction. It's all fiction. So, when you're reading these books and watching these movies, you really have to kind of keep in mind this is fiction, right? Some of these things are real, but it's really important to do the research and not just take any of this at face value, because I can definitely imagine a lot of people read like the Da Vinci Code and they were like, oh, this is a history book, this is real, this is all like stuff that I believe now. And no, you gotta question everything and do your research, because you get caught up in some real bad business if you just believe fiction is real, which, what do you know? Of course. Anyway, we're going to seek and find the final answer here. So remember, it's basically asking us to translate Black Plague to Italian, because that's what Dante spoke. So, I don't speak Italian, or no Italian, but I know the answer here. So, P-E-S-T-E-N E-R and A. Did you get that? I'm going to write it out anyway, so you will. That's so cool. Again, I think just the whole swirly hell portal abyss thing is my favorite aspect of all this. Pester, no, not Pester, Pestanera, which you know, like I said, I don't speak Italian, I speak Spanish. If I was to look at this Italian term and try to translate it using my Spanish knowledge, peste is close to a peste, which is stink. Like something has a stink, it hasn't a peste. It's you know, and then nera, I guess black. I mean, I would kind of like, because black in Spanish is negro, so nera, pretty close. So it would translate to something like the black stink. So yeah, you know, that thing that millions of people died of hundreds of years ago. Yeah, the black stink. It probably did stink though. It's probably accurate. Dead bodies everywhere, rats, trash. It would be pretty stinky. Alright, Dante's Inferno may be graphic, but the reality in cities like Florence wasn't far from hell. The shadow of the Black Death still looms over the city, inspiring contemporary artists and authors like Dan Brown. And that's it. We got to the end. Again, this is just a marketing tool. This is just like, hey, have some fun with this for a few minutes and then go watch the movie and buy whatever other merchandise they were trying to sell. But we can check out a few more things here. If you back out of this, you can probably barely see that at all, but on the right side, I can click on each circle of hell to go back. I'm just going to click on the very first one to get a cool, you know, backward animation. Again, I think this is all pretty nifty. All right, there you go. We're back at the beginning, and pretty much at the end here, but there's one more thing we can check out, I think. Here's a menu showing your progress. Yep, we made it all the way through. And the last thing I want to click on or show is this thing. So this is the... So playing this game wasn't just for the fun of it. It was a chance to win a contest, to win rewards. Here at the bottom, you can see that the original setup for this was that in the month leading up to the release of the movie, I guess, every week they would drop 3 more levels of hell. You'd go through, find the answers, and then I think it was like one of those, like, you were supposed to buy a postcard and write your answers on it and send it in to see if you would win. $1,000 travel voucher is pretty good, but hey, if you were lucky, I guess you'd win a grand prize trip through Italy, which is pretty rad. And actually, that's a good final note about these games and these stories in general. You know, like the appeal, I think a big part of the appeal for me of these movies is just the travel aspect, right? Because it is a reminder that, like, oh yeah, Italy has a bunch of cool stuff to see. Paris is cool as well, like London, Washington DC, even like so the books, both the descriptions of these locations from the author and the way they're filmed in the movies just kind of accentuates, like, oh yeah, these places have a lot of cool stuff to see. So anybody who can travel, who has the means and the opportunity, should do it, right? It's a reminder for me too. Like, I definitely, I think coming out of this, I'm coming out of this with basically an itinerary for each of these places. So I'll go to Italy someday, and I'll oh, this sounds so stupid, but I'll use the Inferno book and movie to kind of plan out, like, all right, what kind of cool old stuff do I want to see? Because I like museums, right? I don't like noisy or, well, anyway, I like museums. I'm pro museum. I like to travel and see museums. So yeah, this just gives me a little outline of stuff to check out for you as well. That's it. You made it through this playthrough of this little ARG. I've finished all of the playthroughs. What's left? I think the last thing I'm going to do is like a little wrap-up, brief history video to kind of summarize what have I learned. What are all these games about? Just because I imagine most people are not going to want to watch a bunch of long playthroughs. So I'll do a wrap-up video. And then after that, I really am not sure what I'll do. But whatever it is, it's going to be a licensed video game, and a really weird one that most people probably don't care about. But hey, that's my bread and butter, baby. I'm here for the stuff no one cares about. Or just me. Alright, well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see you then.